Hello and welcome to another video from Kerbin. In this video we're back in the Kerbal Space Centre building rockets. This is a little manoeuvring buggy that I built, and then I built something to carry it. So this is my quad cockpit rescue vehicle. There you can see the little manoeuvring pod, which is tucked away neatly behind the fairing. But if it's a rescue pod, it's going to need an extra seat, so we have to put one more seat on. There's not many places it'll actually attach to, so it's going to have to go right at the front there. I think that fuel and rocket engine probably would have been okay, but I decided to go a bit bigger. So we stick only half a fuel tank on. We don't need too much fuel in this stage, and a decent bit of thrust. But before I do that, I need to just reattach it so I can swap over the component parts that I'd added to it. Yeah, there's the manoeuvring thrusters. Again, trying to find somewhere for that to attach would become a bit tricky. There we go, that'll work. So let's put the right engine on. So now we need a stage up there and another fairing. There we go, cover up that whole lot. And we'll need some more communications devices just to make sure we stay in contact with it. And also they will deploy and act as sun shields for the pilots. So a couple of fuel tanks and a nice set of engines, some manoeuvring thrusters. Right, let's have a quick test launch just to make sure everything's going to work properly. As you've probably gathered, this is running in fast forward, just to check out the sequence. Well, obviously I had to play it in real time, but I'm playing it back in fast forward so it doesn't take quite so long. Just making sure we can get into orbit. There we go, yeah, we've got plenty of fuel to make that. Right, okay, so we know that works. So now we need something to rescue. So we've got this spaceship in the hangar having some work done on it. I think the parachute needs to go away for an update or a repair, but it's not going anywhere, so not a problem. Except for Frank Kerbin found it lying around and thought he'd give it a try. So off he blasts, not really realising the consequences of his actions, as he launches himself into space, well, into orbit really, which I suppose is space, but not outer space, you know what I mean. There he is onto his final stage. He's going to reach a decent altitude, and then he can try and circularise his orbit. He's going to have plenty of fuel to manage that. Well, just enough fuel, I should think. Coming towards the end of the burn there, and yeah, that's in orbit, just a minor tweak. There we go, lovely. Okay Frank, whatever you do, do not press the... Well, that's not good, is it? Well, you might as well have a nice view out the window while you're waiting to be rescued. So back at the KSC, it's all hands on deck to get the quad cockpit rescue vehicle launched. Okay, we're going to need our best guys out there to rescue Frank. So we're going to have Anroy, Aldgar and Anrigh, which we're going to call the A-team. Let's just add some launch stabilisers, just to make sure it doesn't fall over. Right, we're going to need to get the timing of the launch just right if we're going to have a good rendezvous with Frank in his stranded pod. And we're well and truly away with the A-team, blasting off trying to get an intercept with Frank. It's not too far away there, and then we can have a little jiggle about and see if we can get closer. Don't want to seem to get too close for some reason. I need to make some other changes. Anyway, we're going to go with that for now. Let's just get the rescue vehicle into orbit close to Frank. We can fine tune it a bit later. But for now we can get rid of the first stage, engine and fuel tanks. We don't need that anymore. Okay, so Anroy's going to be the one piloting the rescue pod. So I'm just going to take the sun shields, satellite dishes down next to him so he can get out later. And as you saw, we just deployed the fairing around the pod. And we're coming up on the rendezvous. There he is, we can just see him. Looks like a star moving in the wrong direction. Get around. Oh, that engine's a bit too powerful for these minor manoeuvres. Oh no, too fast again. Steady, come on, don't lose it. There he is. Well, I think I'm just going to put a limit on the main engine just to stop us overdoing things. Right, the pod's in a fairly stable position now. I'm going to try and edge a bit closer. I think I should have put more lights pointing outwards so it would illuminate the area I could be working in. But never mind, let's try and do it in the daylight. But as I say that, we're coming round into the night time, so I'm not going to try and rescue him at night. Let's just do a quick time warp and get round to the day side, just so things are in our favour a little bit more. Right, so there we are, we've set him as target and we're just trying to manoeuvre back closer to the pod. So it drifted apart while we did the time warp, just to do a few circuits of the planet. Just to get, oh not a few circuits, a half circuit to get round back to the day side again. Right, so here's Anron. Oh, where are you going? Don't forget the rescue pod. There we go. He's into the rescue pod. Let's decouple that. Right, now we've got to try and work out how to fly it. Wake up, Frank. We're coming to rescue you. Well, from Frank's point of view, he's just been bumped and can't see anything out the window. But he takes the plunge and out he goes. Oh, I've got to try and grab hold of that second seat we fitted for him. It's around here somewhere. Come on. Yay. Oh, look, see how far the station's drifted away already. The rescue ship. Alright, so we can ditch the pod now and work out which way we're going to fly and head back to the mothership. I'll set this target so we can aim straight for it. So we're going quite quickly. I need to slow down. That's not the slowing down button. Oh, now I don't want to slow down. I want to accelerate. Yep, okay. Let's just keep your finger on that button then. Oh, no, too much. Or too little. I'm going to try and fly it backwards. I seem to be able to do that better than flying it forwards. Gently edging towards the docking port. Let's see if we can get that engaged. Oh, watch out for the strut thing. Yeah, the strut didn't like it. Pushed it away a bit. I think we're nearly there. Come on, yay! Right, we've successfully docked the rescue pod. Right, we've just got to get back into the cockpits now then, so let's leave the seat for Anron. If we can find the button. There we go. Whoa. What I didn't notice at the time was that both of the guys went flying. So we've got Frank and Anron out in outer space. But I'm just concentrating on Anron because I'm poking away at the buttons and I can't seem to take control of the RCS. His flight suit, his jetpack, whatever. And I've lost the mothership. Where's the mothership? Oh, there it is. Oh, and we're drifting away from it, so we need to get control. Oh, it finally started responding. I don't know if its spin slowed down enough and he could grab the controls, I don't know. But he's underway, heading for the spaceship that he came in. Always a good way to go home, I suppose. Right, I've just got to find the entry points. Sure, that's where he came out. It's not offering to let me grab. No, even headbutting it doesn't let me grab it. Let's try it from the side. Come on, where are you? There it is. Grab and board. Right. Oh, and this is where I discovered that Frank had left the vehicle. And here we find him drifting out in space. So at this point I can't see the mothership at all. So I've set it as the target and I'm using the nav ball to navigate my way back to the mothership. Just hope it's got enough propellant in the EVA suit. But eventually we spot the mothership. There it is, look. Getting brighter in the middle of the screen. There he is. Right. Oh, no, lost it. Where did it go? Oh, there it goes. Slow down. Try and do it gently. Take your time. Stop rushing it. There we go. Right. Gently does it. Right, now you've got to find the empty cockpit. Oh, steady. Now, I already tried banging my head against this entry, which didn't work, so I'm going to go for the side, the side grab again. But it won't let me board because the cockpit is occupied. So we're going to leave him hanging on, switch to the ship, and transfer Anroy. There we go. Into the empty cockpit, that one there. Right, now Frank can get in the cockpit that Anroy was in. And just to make sure it's empty, which of course it should be because he was the only one in it. Yeah, it's empty. Right, we can get in. Hooray! So everybody's safely back aboard. So we just need to put some bits and pieces away, like these satellite dishes. And the solar panels, we put those away. So we time warp to the point where I start the re-entry burn. Didn't when I set the burn up, I didn't quite have enough time to get the find alignment right. So I'm just, while I've got fuel, I was just making a few sideways manoeuvres to try and put me on line with the Kerbal Space Centre a bit more. And so we obviously jettison the stage when it's out of fuel and knock away the decoupling ring. And well, the rest of it's down to gravity now. Just checking the whereabouts of the first stage, make sure we're not going to run into it. And a quick check on the alignment to see if it's looking any good. And it's looking pretty good from there. It's going to overshoot a little bit more than I'd like, so I'll get the parachutes out as soon as I dare. There we go, that will slow all the forward speed, and now we're just going down very slowly. So again, using the time warp to get to the ground. Still took a while. Trying out a few different camera angles, and there we are. After a few bounces, we finally safely land on Kerbin. And just to prove it, there's all 4 Kerbal noughts all hanging onto the outside of the ship. So I tried to change to one of them, but I changed the wrong way and picked up the decoupling ring. But now it won't let me change from the decoupling ring while we're in the atmosphere. I can't do it from the pause menu either. So we've just got to sit here and wait for it to reach the ground and disintegrate. Hopefully then it will let me go back to the Kerbals. There we go. But I still can't select the lander, so off to the tracking station and pick my vehicle and go to it, and there's no Kerbals. Where have the Kerbals gone? Did they run away while I wasn't looking? We come back to here and check the vehicle status, and it says it's landed and there's no crew. Okay, so where could the crew be? The astronaut complex perhaps? So these are the new candidates, so they're not going to be in there. So I've got the available, so have they dropped back into the available list of candidates? Oh, there's an A, no, Agabol wasn't one of mine, Aldcam wasn't one of mine. What else we got? Any more A's? Oh yes, we got Arbin, it wasn't Arbin and it wasn't Adzi. Oh, it's okay, so none of those. We've got the assigned. We've got Jeb, Bob, Bill and Val are all out on a mission on the Mun at the moment, so that's fine. The only other thing is the lost and missing, it says 0, so... Well, I... Oh, well. What? They're all down as killed in action. They weren't killed in action, they landed safely with the spaceship that still says it's landed. And you saw it land, so what's the game playing at? Well, that's the end of this video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like it and subscribe, and check back soon for more videos.